Want to speak real English from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at EnglishClass101.com.
Hi everybody, and welcome back to English Topics. Today I'm joined again by...
I'm Davey.
Hi Davey, welcome back.
Thank you.
Today we're going to be talking about some tips to land your dream job. So to land your dream job means to get your dream job. But the idea here with land your dream job is that it's something you really, really want, something you're working hard to get. So today we're going to talk about some ideas, perhaps, that might be helpful for you as you try to find and or secure your dream job. Okay, out of curiosity, do you currently have your dream job?
Yeah, sort of. I would say so.
That's good.
It's you put me on the spot here, Ellie.
Sorry, I didn't intend to.
But yeah, it's very close to my dream job, I would say.
Excellent. I would say I'm pretty close, I would think, to my dream job. There's not much else I would think, oh, if I could just do this with my job, if I could just do that with my job. I feel like I'm at or am actively working towards my dream job now. So.
What are you doing to get your dream job, Alicia?
Exactly. Let's begin. First tip. Okay, so to get my dream job, to get to the next point in my life, my first tip is something I do a lot. Seek out opportunities. Seek out means search, look for. Seek out opportunities. So that means if there's something you would like to do, you need to look for chances to do that thing. If you just sit and wait for things to come to you, you probably won't find anything. So I think it's your responsibility to actually actively go find things to be involved in. So sometimes that means doing an internship. Sometimes it means taking on an extra part-time job. Sometimes that means looking for a course that you can take that can help you in terms of getting the things you need to progress. So seek out opportunities to move forward somehow. You need to do this. I think this is one thing that once you're trained, once you have gotten used to just looking for things to do and keeping your eyes open for chances, this is a key. This tip right here, this is how I got this job.
There you go.
It was 6 years ago, an ad on the internet. And now look where we are.
It didn't find you. The job did not find you. You found the job.
I had to look for it.
That's a very good piece of advice. And I think it's a common mistake that a lot of people new to the job market, people who have just finished, college or training of some sort, they expect, oh, now I'm qualified. And they wait. But a job does not wander by and present itself to you.
Right.
You have to find the job.
Right. So is this something that you do? Even if you're, as you said, pretty close to your dream job?
Absolutely. Yes. You need to find that job. There are thousands, millions of other people who would love to have that same job. And the job is not going around and identifying all of them and picking the best. It is picking between the people that raise their hand and say, I would like that job.
Right. Right. It's up to you.
Yes. And so that is very similar to my first tip, which is network. Network. And I think this goes hand in hand with your first tip of seeking out your dream job, seeking out opportunities. Is networking. One of the ways that you find opportunities is by meeting people who do what you want to do. People who work in the same field or do the same sort of work that you want to do. Meeting them, introducing yourself to them, and making those connections. When you make those connections, you don't have to have something in mind for the end of that relationship. But someone that you meet, a hand that you shake, and some person that you introduce yourself to, you might see them again in 6 months or a year, and they might remember you. And so building that network, building those relationships can be very useful.
Absolutely.
Not just for finding your dream job, but for building your career.
Absolutely. And even today, of course, networking, we think maybe of networking as something we do in person, like at a conference, for example. But now we can use social media to network as well, to reach out to people that we think are doing interesting work, or to reach out to maybe future collaborators. Like social media can be a great tool for networking.
Absolutely.
I think.
Yeah. But I also would caution against only using social media.
Right.
You need to have face-to-face time. People need to know you're a real person. What are you like in person? You can only know so much about someone through their social media profile. So it's a very useful tool, but you can't rely on that alone.
Right.
So being part of, professional organizations, going to places where you can meet people, I think is also important.
Absolutely. Totally. And connected with that then, I think is the next thing that I chose for my tip, distinguish yourself. So distinguish yourself means make it clear how you are different from other people. So what are the skills that you have that other people might not have? Or maybe you can do X, Y, and Z, but your competitor can only do X or can only do X and Y. So think about the things that make you different from other people. And then when you're networking and you're going to meet people who are doing things you're interested in, you can say to them, oh, I know how to do this and this and this. This is what makes me special. So when you introduce yourself to people or when you are, sharing your work with people and there's something special about you, something distinguishing about you, I think people remember that. People think, oh, wow, this person seemed one, like a really nice person, of course, but also this person seemed really skilled, or this person had a great background in this topic, for example. So think about the things that make you different from other people, from your competition. And if you're not distinguished, think about the ways to distinguish yourself. That doesn't necessarily mean wear all one's type of clothing. I don't mean necessarily a visual distinguishing, but
skill set.
Skill set. Yeah. That's what I think anyway.
I think that's a great tip.
Okay.
Maybe related to that, my next tip is to believe in yourself.
Indeed.
It sounds maybe a little corny, a little hokey, but I think this is a very good tip. Believe in yourself. And I mean this kind of in two ways and at maybe two stages of finding your dream job. Finding your dream job and achieving a big long-term goal is hard. It takes a lot of work and it's exhausting. And at times you can get really down on yourself and feel like you're not going to make it. You're not good enough. You'll never have that opportunity or that chance that you're trying to find. And I think then it's an important time to remember that you can do it, that you are, on a path. It might take you some time to get to the end of that path, but if you keep taking those baby steps, working on your skill set and improving as a person, that you can do it. And so I think it's important to believe in yourself when you are trying to get your dream job. And the other way that I meant it, when I first wrote this down, I was specifically thinking about being in an interview too. If you're in an interview or you're with someone face to face trying to land that dream job, the final step of your journey, to be confident and to not doubt yourself, because I think that can show through to other people.
I think that's a good interview point in general, at least for English interviews, like interviews in the US. Maybe in some countries, in some cultures, it's good to be humble or it's good to be kind of quiet and not so confident or maybe not so outspoken about your achievements. But when you're doing an interview in English with an American company or maybe a company in the UK, it's typically considered a good thing to be confident and to be very sure about yourself. So that's a great tip, I think, in general for interviews. Great. Okay. I will continue on to my next one relating to everything thus far, which is keep building skills. Keep building skills. So my previous tip was to distinguish yourself. Davey had the tip of networking as well. If you keep building skills as well, so building skills refers to learning new things. Keep learning new things. If you continue doing this, like you don't just graduate from university or graduate from college and stop learning there. If you continue to try to learn new things, you will find new opportunities to network. You will find new opportunities that you are able to apply yourself to, new things you can do. There will be new projects that you can address. So if you keep building skills and think about these skills in terms of what you want to do in the future. So I would caution people, I would say to be careful to build the skills that you think are going to help you achieve your goals. So I think of this a lot, actually, like in video games. It helps me a lot. I imagine a skill web from Final Fantasy X specifically. Like when I see this character, okay, this character is really good at magic, for example. So there's all these skills that that character can learn to get better at that one thing that they're made for. So if you think about, okay, well, I really want to get better at this skill, or I really want to become this sort of thing, and you build skills to actually move towards that goal instead of just sort of studying this random thing over here.
Right.
Like, I think your progress will be much smoother.
Yeah, that's good. I agree. I think of it more as like the materia system from FF7. But,
I debate between these two a lot, actually.
I think we've had this discussion before.
Definitely. It was.
But no, I think that's very good. Keep building skills, and that will help you distinguish yourself as well, as you said before. Okay, my final tip is directly related to that, and it is stick with what you know. So as much as we've been sitting up here saying, believe in yourself, build skills, distinguish yourself. All of those things are important, but stay within the realm of what you know. And I say this more as an interview tip. Don't overreach. Don't present yourself to a prospective employer or client as knowing how to do something that you don't know how to do, because that will only end in disaster. And also, as an interview tip, odds are very, very high that a good interviewer will know if you don't know what you're talking about. So that's my number one, maybe interview tip. So in my current job, my dream job, I interview people to hire in my same place. And I do dozens of interviews every year. And when I ask people certain questions, I can usually tell if they're trying to fake it. It shows. And I would much rather those people say, I don't know. Because if you don't know, that's fine. You can learn it. But if you don't know and you fake it, that's not a very good sign. Related to this one, related to sticking with what you know, in terms of using English in an interview or a resume, also stick with what you know. If you're not a 100%, very fluent, high-level English speaker or writer, that's okay. Don't worry. But use the English that you know and are comfortable with, because that way it will be easier for you to express yourself and be able to present your skill set.
That's a great tip. And also related to the period before an interview, in preparation of your resume, in preparation of the materials for application, I've read some resume writing tips. And I think that one of the big tips that could be especially helpful for non-native speakers of English is to use data on your resume where possible. So that means instead of saying, like, for example, increased sales in your current position, or like maybe giving some vague information like, I improved this system at my company. Instead of saying those sorts of vague things, give a number. Say, I improved sales by 50%. Or I increased something else by 20%. So giving actual numbers to people can help make it a little clearer, I think, your impact on or rather the impact you had on your current organization. And I think it also seems just more, I think it seems more confident if someone actually says a number than just says, I improved sales, something like that.
Right.
So giving actual data was one. And then I've seen also, in terms of the presentation of a resume, a trend away from describing the type of position that you're seeking, and more a career summary. We're calling it a career summary. So you're supposed to describe, okay, here's the stuff that I have done, and talk about like your future career as well. So you're summarizing kind of your past and your future a little bit. So it's not just, I want this job right now.
Sure.
But summarizing everything in order to, again, distinguish yourself and to show how you can be a good fit potentially.
Right. And actually that might, if I could add to that, I think that I was listening to you say that and I thought that would never work. That would not matter at all in what I do. And so I think it depends on what field you're in.
I see.
There's no really statistics to share in my field like that. No numbers. But when you mentioned these, what did you call it? These
career
summaries. That's something that I think you might be more likely to see in a cover letter to a CV in my field. And it made me then think that you should know the language of your dream job, which is to say, not the language as in the actual English language, but the way that different jobs or career areas or different fields talk about the field or talk about the career. Because I can imagine a resume for a sales job will look very, very different from a CV to be a college professor, or an artist portfolio if you're a graphic designer, something like that. These will all be very different. So you'll need to research and know what that looks like for your field.
Right,
I think.
Exactly. And I think another great tip, if you're not sure when you're preparing your resume, is to check the job, like what's that thing called?
The job listing, the
job
posting?
listing. Yeah. So a really great way to do that, even just to get you started, is to look carefully at that job listing. What is the name of the position specifically? So if, for example, you're looking at a job listing and it says English instructor on the job listing, but you write and say, I'm applying for the English teacher position. It's like, that's a small difference, but depending on the kinds of jobs you're looking to apply to, those small differences can mean a lot. So use the vocabulary words that are in the job listing when you make your application. It'll show that you're paying attention, and it'll get you familiar with the kinds of words that they use at that organization.
Absolutely. That attention to detail can pay off.
For sure. All right. There are probably some other tips too, but those are a few, hopefully, to get people started, I think. All right. Great. Well, good luck then in finding your dream job and in working towards your dream job. I don't think it's ever an ending. I don't think there's an end to the process, actually.
That's when you asked me, do I have my dream job? I thought I got the dream job that I had, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. It took me some time to work and get it. And now I have it. And I'm thinking, well, what's next?
Right.
We keep changing and evolving and growing as professionals.
Right. I think so. And if you keep building your skills as well and you keep building your network as well, you'll start to think of, what are some other things I might be able to do?
Absolutely.
So I think overall, just an ability to adapt and change is also quite valuable as well. All right. So I hope that you found a couple of those tips useful. We wish you the best of luck, of course, in trying to find and trying to work towards your dream job. But if you liked the video, we would really appreciate it if you gave the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the EnglishClass101.com channel if you have not already. And of course, check out our website, EnglishClass101.com, for some other resources for your English studies. Thank you very much for watching this episode of English Topics, and we will see you again next time. Bye-bye.